Welcome. In this demonstration video, you'll learn how to prepare your documents for initiating a small claims action in New Hampshire and e-file. Once you've logged in, go ahead and select New Hampshire as your main jurisdiction and their small claims application. From there, select where you want to file and the location, and click Next. Indicate that you're starting a new case. Click Next. And this will bring you to the introduction of the interview process. Read the information and click Next. If at any point in time you need additional information, you can select any of the frequently asked questions on the right and click on them to get additional information. Continue clicking Next and indicate that you are in fact in the proper venue, the proper location for filing. Clicking Next once more, and then indicate whether you're representing yourself and filing on your own behalf, or if you're a non-lawyer filing on behalf of another individual or entity. And if you indicate that you're a non-lawyer filing on behalf of somebody else, then additional information will need to be collected about being duly authorized in order to do that, that is, file on behalf of somebody else. Clicking Next will now take you automatically to the next section, Plaintiff's Information. Indicate whether you're an individual or a sole proprietor. Provide your name and date of birth. Required fields are represented by an asterisk, so you'll need to provide any field that has that asterisk. And here is your residence address. It's assumed that your residence and mailing address will be the same. If they're not, go ahead and check this box, and additional address information will be collected from you. Provide a telephone number. That's optional, but an email address is required, and that is for e-service per court rules. Indicate whether there are any additional plaintiffs, and please note that if there are additional plaintiffs, the first plaintiff must be authorized to sign, electronically sign, on behalf of all of the other plaintiffs. So I've indicated that there is an additional plaintiff. They're also an individual, so provide their information. Again, email address for e-service is required of all plaintiffs, and confirming that in fact the first plaintiff can sign on behalf of the others. Clicking Next from here will automatically take us to Section 3, the defendant's information. We indicate how many defendants there are in this particular case. Again, their type, first person is an individual. We collect their name, their address. Notice no asterisks here, so telephone and email address of the defendants are optional. If you do provide an email address, it's for court information only, but will not be used for e-service. The court can't validate the other party's email addresses. They themselves will do that later on when they respond. Indicate whether or not they are in the military, and then provide your supporting information. If at any time when you get to a multi-line box such as this where you're typing in information, you need to be very careful about confidential information. What is confidential information? Well, if I check this box, it will provide additional information and questions if I need to. So if you're providing dates of birth, account numbers, social security numbers, that's considered Rule 12C confidential information, and so it needs to be split. And so you check this box. The non-confidential information goes in this top box, and that confidential information goes in this bottom box. Or perhaps there's other information that doesn't fall into this category, but you still want it to be kept confidential. In that situation, you check this box. You provide all the information above, but then you'll also need to provide a motion to seal, which the court will then rule that on that document whether or not that information really is confidential per the court. Otherwise, simply uncheck that box and simply provide your statement. Clicking Next, you provide information about Defendant 2. We've indicated a corporation here, and so the information collected is a little bit different. You can always reuse addresses that were previously provided to save you time. Otherwise, simply select another address and type it in. Again, optional telephone and email address for the defendants. And because this is a corporation and not an individual, the court needs to know the name and address of the person who is authorized to receive service for this organization. Clicking Next takes us to the complaint information section. Indicate the dollar amount, and then indicate by checking any of these boxes if they apply as to the nature of this debt. Clicking Next allows you to provide more supporting information about the actual small claim complaint itself, and again, the confidential information applies. Just information that tells you that if your claim is over $1,500, the defendant may request a jury trial. And finally, your payment options. You can pay online with a credit card, you can pay at the court with a credit card, check, or cash, or you can request a fee waiver. However, if you try to request a fee waiver, you must complete a motion as well as a statement of assets and liabilities, which the court will review and make a decision about. And that's it. You click Next, final review tells you everything is good. Click Next again, TurboCourt will automatically generate your forms for you. So you now have a completed form set. It's given a unique TurboCourt form set number, and you can review any of the forms by simply clicking the View link. If you need to make any changes, you can always click Review and Edit. On the left, it'll show you your estimated filing fees. The actual filing fees will be determined by the court. You can also attach your own documents in support, such as a copy of an agreement. Click Attach, select the type of document you're attaching, provide a name, copy of contract, for example. Select your file, it must be a PDF. You can again indicate if there's any confidential information associated with this. Click Save. TurboCourt will process that, making sure it's a valid PDF file, and there's your attached document. Clicking Next, you can relook at your notification options that you selected during registration. You can also indicate email addresses of colleagues, coworkers, whomever that you also want to receive courtesy notifications, and these are notifications of the status of the filing as the court processes it. Otherwise, you can leave that blank. And finally, indicate your payment options. If you have already filed with TurboCourt and you previously stored a credit card with them, you can just simply select that. You can pay with a new credit card or pay at the court. Read the user agreement and agree to it, and provide your name for electronic filing, and submit your filing. You now have TurboCourt form set number 30911, which was sent to the court, and instead of it being completed, it is now filing pending. Once the court processes it, it will change to accepted. You can look at any messages that are automatically being sent to you by the court through TurboCourt, and this is indicating that you selected the pay at court option. You've received a court envelope number. You'll be notified when your documents have been processed, and here's a phone number to call if you have any questions. And you're done. Now you're simply waiting to find out the status of the court processing your submission.